DFS. We are going to be talking through today's slate. We're going to go through it in a half hour. It's a crazy it's what happens on trade deadline day. So we don't even have lineups for some of the teams I'm even considering stacking, which is really confusing me. So we're going to have this be about a half hour so I can finish building and Rody can finish building. I know he doesn't have maybe as many lineups, but he does have the big ones. So we want to make sure to give ourselves a little bit of time. We appreciate you guys tuning in and staying strong with us. We keep adding more people and some more tools that we'll have in the next little bit. Remember, you can sign up now for free. If you don't like it, after a month, cancel it. Otherwise, $35 a month after that. Rody, how you doing today, man? How's trade deadline day treating you?
Pretty good. It's getting crazy. I've seen a lot of updates coming across the phone, so I'm kind of waiting on these lineups just like everyone else, I think.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely it's hard. It's hard to know what to do without the lineups, right? And without knowing if there's other trades that we haven't even heard about yet. That's sort of what I'm struggling with. Let's see. So off the top, who is your favorite? Who are you looking at pitching wise? Because that is something we can talk about. I do think we know who's pitching. And we can start with the DraftKings and then talk a little bit about FanDuel maybe.
Yeah, for pitchers, I think Lance Lynn's coming in at the top for me. Then a couple of value plays I like. Skubal, Detroit against that Baltimore. He's coming in a little bit chalky. Not bad. What did you say?
No, I'm listening.
Logan Gilbert at 7.2 on DK. He's coming a little bit chalky, but good value. So a couple of good value pieces to throw with a couple other guys. They did talk about Burns a little bit of pitch count like they did with Peralta. So maybe we watch that because the coach was saying some stuff on that, I heard. So I got him down, Burns a little bit down on my list tonight. So
I got you. That certainly makes sense to me. I do like Burns, but that situation is something I don't want to mess with. Obviously, yesterday it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, we got all the innings out of Peralta anyway. You're going to get, but definitely something to think about. Who are you not considering paying down for any of these guys?
Some of the cheaper ones. You looking at like Kobe Allard or something? He's kind of chalky. He's coming in pretty cheap, 5.1K. You could get away with that. That for MME guys to take a shot at those guys like that. Even Stripling's coming in. I mean, people have talked about him a little bit. I'm gonna stay mostly to the top, like I usually do. I usually pay up for pitching or try to find that mid tier. But I do like a couple of those 5K guys, maybe a couple of those other cheaper guys in there.
Yeah, I have some Allard. I really like Logan Gilbert. I don't understand why no one will play. If these projections are right, which I don't think they are, I'll play Touki Toussaint. He's the highest scoring pitcher on the slate, the highest strikeout rate on the slate. He's only pitched twice, so it's a little bit, but why is no one playing this guy?
I think the weather is a great weather to hit. It's humid there. Winds are blowing out. The Brewers are coming in not very low or high owned, but they're coming in pretty good. I like the Brewers tonight as a hitting team, but I know a couple other people are telling me they like that Toussaint guy too. So
he's a boom bust pitcher. He can get wild. He can also be absolutely not untouchable, but close to it. He's got some good stuff. So I'm high on the Toussaint thing. Going with got people saying you can't find the show. We're live right now.
Yeah, I got the YouTube up right now.
Yeah, guys are in here. What's up, WW Fresh, aka Brooklyn Juice? It looks like people are in here. Yeah. Of course, no problem, Adam. Got K9 Bronco in here. I did a nice coaching session with him today. What's up, guys? Let's get it tonight. I feel good about this one. I unfortunately am going to be a little bit on the chalkier stack, which is maybe why I'm playing guys like Toussaint to get a little bit creative pitching wise. But I think you can find ways around the Blue Jay stack. You can't play all these guys. They're expensive, and unless you're going to pay down, it's going to be really hard to get a full Blue Jay stack at pitcher. Lineups popping out. Cubs here come. Ian Happ batting third. Wisdom fourth. Bodie fifth. Ortega, Contreras, Duffy, Alcantara. Okay, and Arrieta. Arrieta starting now for the Cubs. Okay, that makes me like Washington. Okay, so we do have a Cubs lineup now. Okay, we can proceed. It doesn't look like Marisnik was in there. I got to double check, but we'll get that in a minute. I just wanted to double check exactly who was playing. All right. So thoughts on KC one-offs like Perez, Benintendi, Dozier. I think that they're fine. I'm not really particularly interested in them, though. How about you?
Perez maybe at catcher. 4.6. He's a little cheaper than he's been. He's been hitting some homers. So, yeah, give him a good shot to hit a homer. You're looking for a homer in that spot, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, what's been up with the catchers? Has been just balling out lately. So who are your favorite stacks today?
Well, you like the pitcher on the other side. I like for Atlanta. I like the Brewers. I think Brewers. I said this Cardinals got a couple good value plays in the outfield there with Tyler O'Neill and Carlson. We haven't got the lineup yet for that. I'm a little cautious about talking about the Cardinals, but I like them. I think I'm going to get to the Dodgers. I think I like the Dodgers again. I know they're pretty low owned. They got some power. Seager's back, right?
Yep.
So that's possible. Cubs, Bodie's in there. Wisdom, a couple guys that are cheaper you can fill in. Yankees, you got Judge and pretty cheap in the outfield for a one-off or a stack that outfield if you want. They got some power bats now there you could go to. I like. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know. What do you think, Bobby?
I'm very into the Blue Jays today. I understand that they'll have some ownership, and I know that it'll be higher on FanDuel. But again, I think if you don't pay, if I'm right now, I have Toussaint in my biggest lineup, my 888s. I'm willing to take a little bit of chalk if I'm going to make that play, and I have him paired double paying down at pitcher on DraftKings, obviously spending up on FanDuel. But I really obviously like Toronto. I like the Dodgers. I still like the Cubs, Washington, and the Cardinals. Washington and the Cardinals are the ones that come on late because of the changes in the changed at pitcher. I would love to get a Washington lineup before I commit to that. And then I like some pieces of the Padres. Those are my main teams. How do you feel about those?
I like all that, Bobby. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, they're popping a little bit more. Padres came up a little bit. Nationals should come up a little bit, I think. You talked the Cardinals, the Cubs, couple guys there I like as well. So those are good teams to be targeting tonight.
Yeah, and I just want to say I do have I'm not playing a crazy amount of lineups, but I do have a lot of different pitching combinations that don't include the top pitchers at all. I like Skubal. And I mentioned Toussaint, but I like Skubal. I like Gilbert. I mentioned already. I like a little bit of Kobe Allard, and I like Sandoval, who I'm a little worried because of the near no hitter. I'm just going to double check his pitch count from the last start, but I see him getting somewhat overlooked. He threw 108, but he's thrown over 104 straight starts. Sandoval's good. He's got the highest K prop, tied for the highest K prop on the slate. He's 8,800, and I feel like he's getting overlooked. Do you feel like he's getting overlooked maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think he's going to be popular by any means. So that's sort of what I'm looking to do there. Pay down here. I'm going to have to get a little creative here with some of these things. All right. Well, I'll finish editing my lineups after. Guys, drop questions in. We're going to be going fast and furious because the lineups breaking. We got things happening. I just shouldn't be building while I'm doing this. That's why I wanted to stop at 6:30 Eastern. Bellinger down at the bottom of the order should be lower owned because he's hitting 7th today. I totally agree, K9 Bronco, with that. Marisnick was traded to San Diego. I missed that bit of news. There's just so much out there. I got to make sure to swap Marisnick for Happ, where I am still sticking with some of the Cubs, but mostly it's like a 3-man now for me for the Cubs. So you mentioned your favorite stacks. Is there any particular one-offs that stand out to you? Anybody? I know you mostly are doing the stack and combo stack. Who are you sort of looking at as a mini stack, I guess, to go with your main stacks?
I gave the Cardinals stack early. I do like those kinds of more of a mini, not a full. You could stack them full for MME. Sure. Ben Gamble's cheap, 2K, batting leadoff now, I believe, for the Pirates. Pirates come in a little bit cheaper value. They got some value hitters in there you can get in. I like to go there. So if you guys are looking for some cheaper players, they grade out well. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked too much into some other great plays like that. But I noticed a couple of those guys. So you got any of those kind of plays that are?
Yeah, I like Donaldson and some of the twins, Donaldson Garver.
Donaldson at 4.1K on DK. I think. Yeah. So.
I mean, I don't feel like people have been talking him up too much. I know he's going to have some ownership, but I don't think he's not crazy worried about it. I'm not crazy worried about ownership on this slate. I feel like
yeah. I was about to say that ownership on this slate is even Dodgers with you can get any Dodger you want and you're fine in your lineup. Don't worry about getting Bellinger lower owned at 7, batting 7. You could grab anybody you want.
that's fair. I still like Bellinger the best, by the way. There.
Yeah, if you like him, he grades out. You can still play him, so that's fine.
Absolutely.
Play.
Yeah, I'm getting some White Sox. Are you? I'm not like thrilled with it because of the way they've been so ice cold, but I still think the spot is decent enough, especially for the lefties, which aren't that a ton of them. But Moncada, Sheets, guys like that, I've got pieces of in little mini stacks. Any interest in you there? For you there?
I don't have any interest in that, but it's probably a good place to target. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, their run total is pretty high too.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a little bit of ownership, but like I said, don't worry about that tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not crazy worried about it. You've got a lot of cheap options in the outfield tonight. You've got Santander, you've got Gamble, you've got Polanco made the lineup, I'm sure, again for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Polanco's batting cleanup at 2.5K on DK.
Yeah,
he's good.
It's good. All this stuff is going to allow sort of similar builds for your Blue Jays stacks. Okay, so I think that it's interesting to try and play the lower owned version. Like Gamble's going to have some ownership, even though I like him fine. I think Santander will be a little bit less owned because people like Skubal and because we didn't know he'd be in the lineup today. Don't love Andrew Stevenson, but the spot is in general, but the spot is good against Arrieta, and I like Washington a little bit. Trying to find other little bit off the board. I think that Polanco though might not be owned, and I think that's probably a good power upside with occasional speed. And I kind of like that one. I think I prefer him over Gamble, even though he's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, Polanco, you're gonna get lower ownership. Gamble's gonna get some ownership, I think. Bat and lead off at 2K. So
yeah. Who do we like on Washington besides Soto? So it's more trying to pick on Arrieta, right? We do like that Stevenson is cheap. We don't love that he's not a great hitter, but he's 2K. I like Josh Bell. I like you can use Barrera as your catcher. And then I honestly would probably rather play Keyboom than the other guys down at the bottom, but it is more of a mini stack the way that Washington looks. And I feel a little bit the same with the Cubs as well. I feel like you also have wind sort of blowing in from left. It's a little bit across the field, but it's blowing in enough to where I don't think we have to go crazy with it. With that game. But I do love Soto, Bell, Stevenson priced in, and then you can use Barrera as your catcher or Keyboom. But more of a mini stack there, I guess, for Washington. Just really hard.
I'm starting to like that mini stack a little bit there too.
Mm-hmm. The Cardinals are interesting. So let's talk a little bit about this because we obviously had a different, we had a pitching change. Just trying to pull up my Cardinals. Think, wow, there's just a lot of games for having this happen.
Yeah, a lot of games.
We don't have a lineup for the Cardinals. I expect them to be pretty low owned, even with Griffin Jacks on the mound. You've got Tyler O'Neill at 3.3, who's a great value at batting cleanup. You can pay all the way up for the Goldschmidt or Arenado, but you've also got Dylan Carlson at 2,900. That's a stack I could definitely get behind, and Harrison Bader at 2,500. That's a stack I can definitely get behind that probably is going to pick up a little bit of steam with Minnesota with the lousy bullpen and Griffin Jack starting. I think that's a really good way to go tonight. And
yeah, I like O'Neill and Carlson. I got them in a stack right now, so together, and then I'm thinking about grabbing another guy. So for 3-man,
I like it. I'm just making notes to myself because I tried to wait till later today to try and make my plans, but we're still have news. I guarantee you there's guys who we think are going to be in starting lineups who we're going to find out about a late trade. This is like the most active trade deadline I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty insane.
It's weird that on this giant slate, I usually just want to get different from bats. And I'm not too worried about ownership, but I really don't understand how a guy who's put up 30 and 29 in his only 2 starts, who has probably as good a stuff as anybody on the slate. And he's faced San Diego and Philly so far. He had 10 Ks last time out against Philly. And he gets Milwaukee. No offense to Milwaukee. I understand they're a good team. That's all because they're pitching. I know they put up runs lately. I can see it going one way or the other. I just am going to have some love for this. I have to tell you, it's going to be hard for me. And I do want to mention there's an extreme pitchers umpire for both Logan Gilbert and for, it's the same game, obviously, but Logan Gilbert and our boy at 5.1K.
Allard.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
This is what happens on these slates. Everything starts scrambling and I lose sight of some of the things I'm doing. On FanDuel, who are you using for pitcher? I'm guessing Lynn is your number one guy. Who else are you going to consider?
Yeah, let's jump over there real quick, see what we got. Yeah, Lynn's coming out as the number one guy. I'm playing 2 lineups over there, so I like to take a shot at a cheaper guy. Skubal and them guys, Logan Gilbert, fall a little bit down there in the 8K range. But you could take shots at him. Pitching's been all over the place, I think. If you're trying to stack, like I like to stack hitters like Toronto and Dodgers, and you might need to grab a cheap guy. So one of my off lineups might end up there. Talon's coming in at 7.9. He's getting some ownership, and he projects number 3rd on the list, guys. So if you want to grab him, that's probably a really good play as well.
I like that a lot. I do love Taillon tonight.
Yeah, Taillon, sorry. Awful with the name.
Dude, no. I legit wasn't trying to correct you at all.
No, I know. I just was like, shoot, I messed that up bad. Good job, Adam Perry. Yep. He's a good play. I might actually get to him. I'm going to have Skubal and Gilbert more on DK, and I'll probably have Taillon, however you say it again, on FanDuel. So I think that's where we can go. I like that.
I've got Lynn and Taillon as my 2 pitchers on FanDuel right now. What you said is enough of what I'm concerned about. It is frustrating with Burns because this guy's if things go well, he could win the freaking Cy Young this year. You know what I mean? The rest of the way. There's a long time of baseball left to go. I know Milwaukee does weird things. I shouldn't question them. It always works for them. But I do feel like it worries me a little bit that he just might go completely nuts, and we're not into him. I guess I'm just that I don't know. I'm switching right now from all my shares over to Lynn. I just feel like there's with any question marks at all on this slate, there's no real reason to get crazy with it because he's not profiling as that much better than Lynn, right? Like they're pretty close anyway.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah, no, that was sort of my way of thinking about it. Teoscar, and then we've got. Okay, I need to try to get.
Actually, he just fell down to number 3 on my recent update.
Who popped up?
Taillon. So Taillon, however the hell. Jameson. There we go. Is it Jameson?
There you go. Yeah, just say that. Yeah, there you go.
Jameson. So Jameson popped up to number 2, just barely over Burns. It's close, but the price on him, Jameson is just very good. It's a very good difference.
Yep. One team that no one's going to play, and I actually think Zach Thompson's pretty good, or not going to get much ownership, is the Yankees. I know it's obviously a huge hitter downgrade. They're in, but this lineup suddenly got a lot better, and it helps everybody. So I'm kind of open to the idea of playing some Stanton, Judge, Gallo. I think they're all interesting to me. I just don't think I'm fully stacking them. I'm just throwing that out there because I do think that there is some merit to playing them at pretty affordable prices against in Miami at just no ownership, right?
Yeah, actually they're actually decent on the stack projection, I think. They're popping up a little bit. So yeah, I think the power bats they've added now, and you can go there. I do like that. Maybe a mini stack, a 2-man or something. I know you guys like to do a lot of the 2-man or even the 3-man stack of, coming off of a stack. That'll work out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I will. Brooklyn Juice asked me to list the hitters, pitchers, umpires real quick. I'm happy to do that. I'll do it in 1 second. Hey, K9 Bronco, I love it. Vladdy, Tatis, FanDuel. If you can get Bichette in there also. I know that they're all going to be popular, but not in that. It's going to be really hard to play those 3 guys together specifically. So I kind of like that considering they all grade out really well for me. I will get the pitchers umpires for you right now. Pitchers umpires are in Seattle, hitters umpire in New York for the Mets game. And that's really the only extreme that I have on this whole slate, which is kind of crazy. New York, Mets, and Cincinnati. When I wasn't using the pitchers there, and I'm certainly not very interested in the bats either. So it's just sort of a stay away for me in that game. Boy, the National Arrieta, man, that guy cannot get lefties out. This is if Soto. This is like a prime Soto hit a home run spot right here. So I'm gonna make sure to, when we get off, get some of Soto. But keep firing in QQs. We will get to them. I just think that there's so many routes you can go. I want to stick with my core, and that's Toronto. I still want those cheap Cubs bats. I still think there's upside for them in this matchup, although I don't want too much of them. Just with that wind is a little bit bothersome to me. So I probably, I have the more 2 and 3 mans. I still love Wisdom. But I think moving over to Washington and the Cardinals is probably what I'm going to do That's the biggest things I've gotten from today. Okay, so it looks like we got pretty drying up questions. Is there any other sort of, share any other thoughts you have on maybe some builds? Is there any correlating things? I know you like to stack all over the place, but is there anything specifically that stands out to you, that any position or any way you like a certain kind of a stack? Like maybe like the Dodgers, I feel like the Bellinger thing. I still think Bellinger is one of the guys you want in your stack, even though he's batting 7th. That would be one of my takes of the day. And I still want I want some Gurriel, and I want some Lourdes Gurriel for Toronto, and I want some Grichuk.
I love playing Gurriel and Grichuk, guys. It actually cost me last night going with the hitter down the list instead of playing Pham. I played Grisham, and that cost me big. But normally it doesn't happen like that. Gurriel gets homers. Grichuk gets 2 bombs in a game. You guys get that. You got 3% guy right there. Or even tonight, even less maybe in that stack, and that just helps the whole stack. Gets you different and be able to move up on the field a lot.
Yeah.
So I love that. And Bellinger doesn't grade out that bad, guys. He probably grades out just behind Turner, Seager, and Muncy. So he's still a good play at even batting 7. So
Yep. And by the way, the Grichuk and Gurriel on DraftKings especially are going to be on FanDuel. Grichuk is going to be owned because of his price. But Grichuk and Gurriel, if you go with those two instead of Teoscar and Springer on DraftKings, you're going to get 2 guys at less than 5% in the most popular stack of the night, and they both have power. So I think it's a really, really good way to go. I am happy to play Seager tonight. I'm not going to be the guy who worries about a guy coming back from injury. This guy is a monster. His price on FanDuel is a joke. Seager is legit, should be 4K with the other shortstop. So I actually kind of like doing a Toronto stack with Seager as my shortstop on FanDuel. Any thoughts on Seager?
I'm going to get to the Dodgers, I think, on FanDuel as well. I think I'm going to go with a 5-man Toronto on DK. And then I got to go with my 5-man Brewers. I know you guys don't like it, but those are my 2 5-mans, I think, on DK. So
I like what Brooklyn Juice said he's doing. He's into Philly. I say go for it, man. I think you're going to get a little bit more ownership than you might think on it, but it's still going to be low enough owned. The only issue I have there is it's a huge stadium downgrade for them, obviously, but not bad hitting weather. And Will Crow and the Pittsburgh bullpen is nothing to be scared of. I just have other spots I like a little bit better for power, but I'm all on board if you want to play Philly. There's a lot of lineups that I'm not playing, a lot of stacks I'm not playing tonight that I think are really, really good options.
Yeah, Philly grades out good.
Yeah, I saw a couple people talking about Boston.
We talked in the Discord, about it. I think we dropped in the Discord. Philly's grading out okay, but there's a few concerns.
Yep.
Like Bobby just talked about.
Yeah, but that's just compared to the other stacks. You know what I mean? It's the night you're gonna go for the full stack. You're gonna need either your 10 runs or 4 home runs in there somehow, or maybe a stolen base too. I have a feeling it's going to be a very high scoring slate. It's been wrong. Sometimes everybody struggles. It happens at certain days, but I have a feeling this one's going to go off. Dodgers, Toronto, Philly. I love that. I love a WW Fresh. That's similar to me. I'm more Dodgers, Toronto with some Cardinals, Washington, Cubs mixed in. I'm sort of similar to you, except for I just don't have as much of the Philly situation.
The Cubs are coming in pretty decent grade on FanDuel too. So
it's weird that people are saying they can't get to the live stream.
We got almost 30 viewers here, Bobby. We're popping.
That's just on what's it called too. That's not even on Sheets' Twitch and all that stuff.
That's on YouTube. Yeah. I don't see anything of the other stuff, obviously.
Yeah. I'm just writing it into them. Sorry.
I always find myself a few $100 short.
And leave it. It's baseball.
Garver right there. Ooh, don't mind the Garver call.
I like the Garver. Look at Garver's numbers versus lefties for the last few years, and you'll feel even better about it. Thanks, Brooklyn Juice. He looks like he's going to try and send the link over there. What a guy! This guy's awesome. All right. Pretty much going to get out of here in a few minutes. So, guys, drop in any last questions. To reiterate, I am mixing around with pitchers, but I like Gilbert, Allard. I'm mixing in some of my Sandoval. I am mixing in some Toussaint, and I am mixing in some Skubal and Tyon, and my main spend up is Lynn. That's where I'm at. People are into the KC thing. Maybe I'm missing something with KC today. They didn't really pop for me, and I'm wondering why that is exactly. I mean, this is just so you guys know, Ross Stripling is a good real life pitcher. He's really had some bad outings, but you got to remember, Kansas City is so much weaker than the offenses he normally faces. He had Tampa Bay back-to-back. He did struggle. Well, he actually pitched fine against the Mets. He put up 18 fantasy points in 5 innings. He does give up some power, but these teams he's giving power up to are pretty powerful teams, and he's been pitching in a little tiny park. Now, this is still a good hitter's park in Toronto, but it's nowhere near like the short park they were playing in Buffalo. So I'm just not getting – I'm not getting to the KC. It's weird to see a team with less than a 4-run total have a guy who's projected to be 20% owned, which is where I have Perez if I combine 2 different sites. Salvador Perez. I'm just not behind it. But look, it can certainly work. The bullpen has struggled for Toronto. If you get Stripling, you can get to that bullpen. You've got some cheap options like O'Hearn and Taylor. So yeah, go ahead and do it. I'm just personally, that's why I'm off of it, I guess. They also have one of the lowest run totals on the slate, I believe. I actually thought Stripling would be viable in a different situation. All right, he's like W Fresh like Soler. Like Soler is always a guy who you could go with. Like, I mean, immense power, never owned, and cheap. Great. People only play him against lefties when it's the obvious stacking spot, and Soler, you don't need to do that. So I'm fine with just the Soler. I'm actually fine with any individual from KC. I'm just not getting there myself. I heard a bunch of people talking about Boston. I think Boston would be a terrible play today, personally, as a full stack. And of course, you can always play JD as a 1-off or a 2-man or even a 3-man. I don't think is that terrible, but I just would hate. There's teams you don't stack against. You don't stack against the Padres on full slate. The Padres, in my opinion, you don't stack against Tampa Bay. And pretty soon it'll be the White Sox too, because their bullpen just got a lot better. But Tampa Bay and San Diego, their bullpens are, to me, significantly better than everyone else. And since the All-Star break, have been much, much better than everyone else. So I just don't stack against them very often.
Yeah, I don't like that stack either. So
nice. Yeah, it's funny. You see all these top-owned players all in the Toronto game, and why would you stack a chalky team on a big thing? But I'm looking at Grichuk. I can't see people playing Grichuk and Gurriel on DraftKings. I can't see it. So I'm in. Soler just got traded to the Braves. What? What's going on? There it happened. Soler just got traded to the Braves. I didn't even realize that. Oh. The Braves boosted up a little bit of power today, getting Duvall back and Soler. This is they're making up for that Acuna loss between Peterson, those guys. By the way, it's going to make Jock Peterson, this is looking ahead, going to make him a much worse play going forward, because the guy's a career like 112 hitter against lefties. And now all of a sudden you've got these righty mashers that are going to come right off the bench and replace him. So even if he's leading off in the future, not tonight, but in the future, you're going to be careful playing Jock Peterson. It'll be like Dodgers all over again, where the guy hits 30 home runs but only has like 300 at bats in the year. Yeah, Soler, I think that's a great move for him. I'm impressed with the Braves being able to sort of swing some things, because I thought they were done after they lost their man, Mr. Acuna. All right, I think we're going to get out of here. Rody, any final thoughts for the road before we leave? I still got some lineups to get through. So
yeah, I got a lot of lineups to get to too. So just good luck, guys. Let's get it tonight.
All right, let's get it, guys. Good luck. Sorry for the rapid fire show, but this is people tend to sometimes like it, sometimes they don't. Again, check out TrueDFS.com, and I'll be in Discord. I'm sure Rody will be there. And somebody win something big tonight. Sheets won it yesterday. He did the five-digit score win, 5-5, 10K profit or more. Tonight we need somebody else to do it, or Sheets too. But we can hopefully multiple of us will get there. So good luck, everybody.
Let's go.